You are listening to the Kentucky X-Files Season 3 with your hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also visit us at www.kyxfiles.com. And now, on to our show.
Demonize or engage in other reprisals against our witnesses and people who are telling the truth from their perspective.
Yeah, there were certain colleagues of mine that were brutally administratively attacked. That actually makes me very upset as a leader to see that happen to other coworkers and actually superiors of mine over the last 3 years.
How do you account for that response? That seems like a bizarre response.
I call it administrative terrorism. That's their quiver, their tool in the toolbox to silence people, especially, the career government service cares about their career, cares about their clearance, their reputation to climb the ladder. And when you threaten that career path, a lot of people back off. But I'm here to represent those people. So,
Mr. Fravor, what about you? What has your experience been since you've come forward with your perspective on this?
Actually, I've been treated very well. And the 6 people that were involved, myself included, all of them have or will be retiring from the military as 05s or 06s. And all my friends that are very senior, 3 and 4 stars, I've talked to them. They believe, they understand there's a problem. But no, I was actually treated really well.
And what is your general interpretation of these phenomena? Or what is your current thinking of trying to make sense of them?
Well, I'll say, I'm not like a UFO fanatic. It's not me. But I will tell you that what we saw with 4 sets of eyes over a 5-minute period, still, there's nothing, we have nothing close to it. It was amazing to see. I told my buddy I wanted to fly it, but yeah, it's just an incredible technology.
All right, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I'll yield back to you.
How to open your car door when you're trapped underwater
is good information to have. You ever trapped underwater?
I mean, I feel like the trapped underwater in a car thing is the modern equivalent to our quicksand.
Right? I wanted to touch back on what he just said because I believe it's one of the most credible statements ever. It's a realistic statement. Is you get a pilot and he sees this thing. What's the first thing he thinks?
I want to fly that.
I want one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to fly it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, right there, come on. You see something crazy fast go past, you're like, I'm getting one.
Yeah.
I want one.
And I want to disclose, I don't make fun of people that are going through chemo. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
I don't think that anybody is going to think that you were.
Yeah, my bad.
Did you even know who that man was until you just saw him? Yeah.
I did not know.
No. I commend him, man. I mean, honestly, he's a career politician or whatever, you know what I mean? He's House of Representatives, Maryland Senate. I mean, you name it, right? And the fact that even though he's fighting colon cancer and, doing his treatments and all that, he still showed up for the UFO party, man. That's pretty badass. Do I think he would listen to the Kentucky X-Files? Probably not. But if he did, it would make the show even better. Just knowing that.
Yeah. As long as it wasn't this episode.
But
yeah,
I was actually like, I said it like while they were talking about it, but the image that they're like the thing that they're seeing is what what Graves he said a sphere with a black or grayish cube on the inside of it. Yeah. And I remember in Missing 411, the UFO connection, David Paulides actually interviewed somebody that had the same like encounter, I guess, or a sighting, if you will. And this other picture right here, I just grabbed from YouTube. this is another one of those spheres that just randomly came in. This was part of that like Pentagon disclosure stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were, I don't know what they were doing. I can't remember what the whole purpose of this feed. I'm assuming that this is one of their one of our drones, and out of nowhere this sphere just came flying. It's right above the kind of above the end, if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
I've seen that video. I've watched that video.
Yeah, I've watched it.
Where it flies in.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Like I can see like somebody throwing something, but this was like,
yeah,
like you would not like, dude, that was good.
Arm.
Yeah, he had a hell of an arm. Like it's like they threw a ball and we had no gravity and it just kept soaring.
It's just weird because, these are the pilot accounts seem to be a lot of this sphere with a square and circumambulate side of it. Whereas like all the people on the ground accounts are the black triangle, or a lot of them are anyways.
Yeah. I wonder about that. I mean, the black triangle, is there, we always hear reports about the black triangle flying over silently, it's never, maybe I'm wrong on this, but it doesn't seem to me like we've heard much in the way of the black triangle maneuvering in ways like these things are being described. So I'm curious if that, like, is the black triangle, if it's a different type of ship, is it used for something else, or is it ours?
Or I keep throwing this out there. Is there a chance that there's multiple different types of intelligent beings? Like, I know we've went down that rabbit hole.
This is the truck stop, the universe truck stop.
Yeah, like it's Earthmart.
Earthmart,
yeah, that's right.
So that's, I really believe that, like, if we're going down that rabbit hole, let's entertain the idea that we're not just being visited by one species, I guess you would say, one intelligent species. There could be multiple.
I don't think it's outlandish to think that an intelligent race of creatures out in the universe exploring for who knows how long. I don't think it's I really don't find it crazy to think that they might have met others.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, you guys are out here, we're out here, let's exchange some information, and you guys just want to go work together? You want to like team up on some stuff?
You want to listen to my podcast?
I mean, if you think about it, if they're out there in the universe, trying to learn, trying to expand knowledge, right? Trying to understand. For one thing, they gotta be scientifically driven, because I don't think you'll ever get off your planet if you're not. And then they meet another group of creatures that are like-minded. And this all could have happened over the last however many thousands of years. We might have still been, scratching our asses and smelling our finger, like, while these guys were finding planets that we'll never dream of,
I would say that we still do that.
I don't want to comment. But I'm saying, if there's multiple different crafts and there's multiple different species, that's not, I mean, there's UFOs flying around jets, dude. At this point, can we really be like, there's no way there's more than one? There's more than one. That's insane.
It's kind of like the whole comment that we got like a long time ago. Eric, kangaroos in America, kangaroos in America, please. Okay, so you're wanting to believe that there is a 7-foot tall humanoid dog creature running around, but you can't believe that there's a kangaroo loose around America.
You know what? I mean, think of all the different descriptions, right? Primarily the grays are probably the most popular description, right? There's grays, there's tall graves, or tall grays, or whatever they call them. And then there's actually a lady I talked to a couple weeks back. she said that she believes in the tall whites. And I actually thought that was a pretty hilarious description of them. I was like, okay, tall whites, whatever you want to call them. And but you get that primarily same whatever, and then you got the goblins
from Hopkinsville.
Yeah, little green men.
Yeah, they kind of have like the oval shaped head with like pointed ears.
Yeah.
So,
I bet those guys were like a crew that was supposed to go get something. You know what I mean? They were like, hey, God, these guys are like, dude, they're shitting everywhere on the ship. They're eating all our food. Can we please give them a job? Like, just send them down to Earth send them to Kentucky for a little bit. Tell them to go and get this thing. All right, send them. They probably forgot why they were there. Started like getting real interested in this cabin. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Are you suggesting that the green ones are the ADD aliens?
Yeah.
Like they just get distracted and go off on their own little adventures.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people are concerned with I know it comes up in this hearing too, but the logistics of it. How the hell do you get a species from one end of the universe to the other? How is that possible? How could they have survived? And there's so many variables there. Is it possible? Yeah, it is. It would be a monumental undertaking for us at our current level of technology. But from the capabilities of these crafts, I think we're understanding that they're tapping into some shit that we're not quite there at. We're not quite there yet. We're like, man, did you see diesel prices? Jeez, man, Jesus Christ. These guys are like, let's just bend time and space and we'll just go there this weekend. We'll just fly over to Earth this weekend. Like they're way ahead so they can do shit that we can't.
Like, just think of like we complained about gas prices. When we get to the point where we're going into outer space, we have to go to Mars for our job and stuff, and we had to take the family Astrovan,
right?
And we had to pay for jet fuel and shit like that. Like, we'd be pissed. Like, think about like a couple thousand gallons of fucking jet fuel or rocket fuel,
right?
Each trip.
If you look up how to stop a nuclear explosion, okay,
I didn't think I would have to.
Okay, I'm just saying how to stop a nuclear explosion. Okay, you'll find a whole list of different things, and one of the only important statement in it is it's not impossible, but it's very difficult. And the reason I bring it up is because we've heard of the stories of nuclear bombs. They've tried to test nuclear bombs in space. It always gets messed with by something. It gets turned off or something happens. They just flick the thing out of the air. And one of the things is that if you have mastery, I mean, if you have technology that can give you mastery over matter, I mean, think about antimatter. That's abundant in the universe, right? It's one of the biggest abundant things out there is antimatter or dark matter. All right. And our scientists here on Earth, we don't even really understand what it completely does. We just know there's a goddamn lot of it out there. So what if they know what it is and they go, oh, you have a bomb there. It's made of matter. Well, that's okay. We'll just go ahead and get that out of here. And we're sitting here like, oh my God, they just turned our nuke off. And they're probably sitting up there like, God, these guys are still messing with nukes, man. Maybe we should just leave this. Maybe we should just go. We come back here in another 1,000 years or something and see if they're even here anymore. These guys are dumb.
Yeah. Don't they know that stuff is dangerous?
Yeah. They need to get some antimatter. Y'all motherfuckers need antimatter.
Freaking next, you know, like OSHA gets like calls and stuff. It's like telling aliens are trying to tell them about like regulations that they need to start putting in place.
Like y'all are playing with nukes, man. Like, dude, we don't even mess with that shit anymore. Our toilet is a nuclear reactor. That's it. That's it. We just use it to flush the toilet. I mean, you guys are, you know, just saying, you know, like if these guys are that far ahead, they've found ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to.
Yeah.
But I feel like why we can't like take the time to grasp the fact that something is traveling that far to us is the fact that we can't do it. And that's the reason why we are having a hard time understanding it and believing it.
Right.
Like, I don't know how many like just like anybody that like when we were like still like dickheads in the tree, the first person that made fire, it's like magic. It's like when you look at something that you've never seen before in your life, you're like, it's going to be like weird to you. You're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? It's just like if you take somebody from the 50s and bring them today and they see like how we like we're watching TV, we're watching live like people from across the country on a TV. We're seeing them phones. It's like they would lose their shit because they've never seen the shit.
Yeah. I'm just
But
saying,
you have to be gradually like bits and pieces.
Right.
We're so far away from that.
Stair-stepping technology, because the enormous leaps make for disbelief.
Absolutely.
You know, like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
When we were in high school, and Tyler, when you were a fetus, would you have ever in a million years thought that you and two buddies would have been staring at a computer in real time, talking to each other, watching a video that somebody else put on a computer?
Yeah. While we're talking to people out there. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. Who would have thought? We would have been like, man, you crazy. You know?
I just
remember back in the day, man, they'd say, man, what are you smoking?
I just want to disclose that I was at least alive. I was just a very young boy.
I just, I don't know.
Fetus.
The mental image of that is what got me. A little Tyler fetus with the beard and everything. Like,
I got my headset and a microphone. I just don't talk.
You're just chewing on the mic.
All right, let's get into a little bit more before we.
Thanks. On to Ms. Luna.
Mr. Grush, in speaking to you yesterday, I just wanted to follow up on Representative Raskin's questions. In the last couple of years, have you had incidences that have caused you to be in fear for your life for addressing these issues?
Yes, personally. Yeah.
I just want everyone to note that he's coming forward in fear of his life. To put in perspective, if they were really not scared about this information coming out, why would someone be intimidated like that? To your knowledge, are NHIs working with adversarial foreign governments in either technology exchange programs or back engineering programs?
I don't have data on that. I'm not sure.
Have you heard or you had people come forward to present that evidence?
Not that particular evidence that you just espoused.
Okay, on the 19th of April, Dr. Kirkpatrick, head of Aero, had said that he did not find any evidence of UAPs. You also stated that you had, in your interview, that you had briefed him on information that you were uncovering, but that he did not follow up with you. Were the items that you divulged to him pertinent to national security?
Yes, him and I had a classified conversation in April 2022 before he took over Arrow in July 2022, and I provided him some concerns I had.
Do you know why he might not have followed up with you?
Unfortunately, I cannot read his mind. I wish he did. I was happy to give sage counsel to him on where to look when he took the helm of Arrow.
Okay, and then my last question for you before I move to Mr. Graves is you received prior approval from the Defense Department to speak on certain issues, correct?
Correct, through DOPSR, DoD Pre-Publication and Security Review. And I just want to remind the public, they're just looking from a security perspective. These are my own personal views and opinions, not the department's.
Okay, I'm asking that though mainly because I think that there are many people that would like to discredit you. So it does bring a certain amount of credibility to your testimony.
I'm required by law to do that as a former intelligence officer, or I go to jail for revealing classified information.
Yeah, we don't want you to go to jail. My next question would actually be for Mr. Graves. Can you please explain to me in detail the event that occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base?
Certainly. In the 2003 timeframe, a large group of Boeing contractors were operating near one of the launch facilities at Vandenberg Air Force Base when they observed a very large 100-yard sided red square approach the base from the ocean and hover at low altitude over one of the launch facilities. This object remained for about 45 seconds or so before darting off over the mountains. There was a similar event within 24 hours later in the evening. This was a morning event. I believe 8:45 in the morning. Later in the evening, post-sunset, there were reports of other sightings on base, including some aggressive behaviors. These objects were approaching some of the security guards at rapid speeds before darting off. And this is information that was received through one of the witnesses that have approached me at Americans for Safe Aerospace.
Was this documented in any official form, whether it was a police blotter?
Yes, they had official documentation and records from the event that the witness held over the years.
And I'm not going to ask you to do it right now for time reasons, but you would be able to sketch what was witnessed, correct? And have you seen that before on any other equipment and or during your flight time?
I have not seen what they've described. This object was estimated to be almost the size of a football field, and I have not seen anything personally that large.
Okay, and then another question on follow-up referencing the gimbal video go fast incident. Can you just clarify, because to our understanding, the footage was actually cut off at a certain point, but what happens at the end of that video, just for those Americans specifically that are wanting to know about the rest of that footage?
Certainly. There was some uncertainty or instability with the object. It seemed to rock a bit, and that's the last I had seen of the video. Much of the data that I would recommend be analyzed would consist of radar data that would provide precise kinematics on the object, as well as the fleet of objects that were operating nearby.
Okay, and follow-up in regards to the reporting procedures that Mr. Garcia had addressed on, as well as Representative Burchett, with the FAA, to your understanding, pilots that are seeing this, commercial airline pilots, are they receiving cease and desist letters from corporations for coming forward with information in regards to safety for potential airline passengers?
I have been made privy to conversations with commercial aviators who have received cease and desist orders.
So the American public should know that corporations are putting their own reputations on the basic, not the line, but ahead of the safety of the American people. And I think, would you agree with that statement?
It appears so.
Okay. And I guess this would be my last, I'm out of time. I yield. I'll be back.
Good. Mr. Moskowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, let's talk about the laws of physics for a second. Mr. Graves and Commander Favor, I heard you talk about speed. When those objects broke the sound barrier, did they make a sonic boom?
Johnson, why are you naked? Because my t-shirt sucks. Look at Gibson. He's wearing a true classic tee. It fits him tight in all the right places.
I was in a jet. You can't.
Yeah, you're not able to
I ask that every morning.
I will say the objects that we were seeing, they were
I'm just glad nobody on the show's name's Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that caught me off guard. I was like, what kind of fucking hearing is this?
Of those vehicles. Could a human survive those G-forces with known technology today?
No.
No, not for the acceleration rates that we observed.
Okay. What about what they look like? How close did you get? Did you see a seam or a rivet or a section? And what I mean is, obviously, the jets you're flying have all those things. Did these objects have those?
Do you want to go?
I didn't have the detail to be able to tell that.
So we got within a half mile at Tic Tac, which people say that's pretty far, but in airplanes, that's actually relatively close. No, it was perfectly white, smooth, no windows. Although when we did take the original FLIR video that is out there, when you put it on a big screen, it actually had two little objects that came out of the bottom of it. But other than that, no windows, no seams, no nothing.
Mr. Grush, as a result of your previous government work, have you met with people with direct knowledge or have direct knowledge yourself of non-human origin craft?
Yes, I personally interviewed those individuals.
There it is.
Mr. Grush, as a result of your previous government work, have you met with people with direct knowledge or have direct knowledge yourself about ATs, advanced technologies that the U.S. government has?
Based on conventional advanced tech, I was briefed to the preponderance of the Defense Department's both space and aerospace compartmented programs, yeah.
Do you have knowledge or do you have reason to believe that there are programs in the advanced tech space that are unsanctioned?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say that they're above congressional oversight, what do you mean?
Complicated question. So there's, some, I would call it abuse here. So congressional oversight of conventional special access programs. So I'll use Title 10, so DOD as an example, right? So 10 U.S. Code Section 119 discusses congressional oversight of SAPs, discusses the DepSecDef's ability to waive congressional reporting. However, the Gang of Eight is at least supposed to be notified if a waived or waive bigoted unacknowledged SAP is created, and that's public law.
Well, so that how does, I don't want to cut you off, but
Yeah.
how does a program like that get funded?
I will give you generalities. I can get very specific in a closed session, but misappropriation of funds and
Does that mean
self-fund.
that there is money in the budget that is said to go to a program, but it doesn't, and it goes to something else?
Yes, I have specific knowledge of that. Yep.
Do you think U.S. corporations are overcharging for certain tech they're selling to the U.S. government, and that additional money is going to programs?
Correct, through something called IRAD.
Okay. Satellite imagery. Let's talk about satellite imagery. We have satellites all over the place, some that we're aware of and many that we're not aware of, right? We're taking pictures of everything at every point and second. Mr. Grush, are you aware, do you have direct knowledge, or have you talked to people with direct knowledge that there are satellite imagery of these events?
That was one of my primary tasks at NGA, since we process, exploit, and disseminate that kind of information. I've seen multiple cases, some of which, to my understanding, and of course, I left NGA in April, so that's my information cutoff date. But I personally...
I'll backpedal just a second, just for the listeners. Anybody out there that doesn't understand what IRAD is, it's independent research and development, and it basically allows for funding to go to private corporations that potentially could develop technologies for the Department of Defense. Sorry about that. I was just thinking somebody might be listening like, what the fuck is IRAD? You know what I mean? Because I know the first time I heard it, I
I'm
didn't
red.
know what the...
Yeah, I read.
Yeah, man, we're red.
Review both what we call overhead collection and from other strategic and tactical platforms that I could not even explain prosaically. And I have a degree in physics, by the way, as well. And I am aware that you guys have not seen these reports, unfortunately. And I don't know why.
Do you have direct knowledge, or you've spoken to people with direct knowledge that this imagery applies to crash sites, crash imagery?
Why does every outdoor brand think I want to look like this? I know I don't.
I can't discuss that in an open session.
Okay.
He can't discuss that.
Do you have any indication that the U.S. government
It's
is
committee
involved in a
timing this fast.
disinformation campaign?
I have to
to
edit
deny
these
the
out because they're going to be so out of context.
certain UAPs.
Especially for the people that
Can't
aren't
go
watching.
beyond what I've already stated publicly in my News Nation interview, because it touches other sensitivities.
Okay. I'll yield the balance of my time back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Fox?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank our witnesses for being here today. Mr. Garouche, in your sworn testimony, you state that the United States government has retrieved supposedly extraterrestrial spacecraft, and other UAP-related artifacts. You go so far as to state that the U.S. is in possession of, quote, non-human spacecraft, end quote, and that some of these artifacts have circulated with defense contractors. Several other former military and intelligence officials have come forward with similar allegations, albeit in non-public settings. However, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the director of AARO, previously testified before Congress that there has been, and I quote, no credible evidence thus far of extraterrestrial activity or of, quote, off-world technology brought to the attention of the office. To your knowledge, is that statement correct?
It's not accurate. I believe Dr. Kirkpatrick mentioned he had about 30 individuals that have come to Arrow thus far. A few of those individuals have also come to Arrow that I also interviewed,
Okay.
and I know what they provided Dr. Kirkpatrick and their team.
Okay.
I was able to evaluate
Okay,
that
I
information.
need to go on.
Sure.
But my understanding that his statement is accurate, came from a direct quote. And this contradiction is a perfect example of why we need to inject transparency into our government. And for another example, look no further than the pitiful response to the Chinese spy balloon debacle earlier this year.
Oh,
You may
shit.
remember the mass confusion that ensued when the balloon was first spotted over Montana, 4 days after it first entered U.S. airspace over Alaska. The Biden administration's initial inability to address the object grew into a continuous series of embarrassments. After news of the balloon reached the mainstream media, we were assured that the balloon posed no threat to our security. However, after the balloon was allowed to transit the entire continental United States, fighter jets were scrambled off the coast of South Carolina to shoot it down. This flip-flopping and obfuscation caused needless confusion, fear, and panic across the country. It's my hope, Mr. Chairman, that this sort of confusion will not be repeated. We should investigate the extent to which elements of our government possess or do not possess information that is of critical value to the American people. We owe it to the citizens of this nation to make sure that our government is transparent and accountable. We must make sure that our government provides answers, and Congress must do its duty to solicit those answers. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Yeah, Mr. Frost.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In 2022, NASA announced that it was commissioning an independent study team to examine UAPs. The NASA team is comprised of scientists across different fields, as well as former astronauts and pilots. In May, the independent study team held its first public meeting, which included the perspectives from NASA senior leaders, as well as perspectives from the Department of Defense and intelligence agencies. The NASA study team is also expected to release its first report pretty soon, and I think it's safe to say that we all eagerly await its results. Mr. Graves, how might NASA's research influence the commercial industry regarding safety in UAP?
I think NASA has a big role to play as far as commercial aviation safety, and it's one of their original charges as an organization. One of the recommendations that have been put forward is to utilize their existing aviation safety reporting system to serve as a short-term fill and trusted platform for pilots that want to report on UAP. It also has built-in analytics capability and is funded by Congress.
Gotcha. And also, Mr. Graves, are there any other industries that may be influenced by the NASA research on UAPs? And if so, how so?
Well, I think there is a large swath of commercial capabilities that could be brought to bear on this topic, from space-based or ground-based sensor systems that are available open source or through commercial marketplaces. And I think NASA's work, as they work to identify and highlight specific parameters that can be found, we can take that information and promulgate this through the public sector so that we can have a more open conversation about what we're seeing.
Right.
You know, in
I'm going to jump in
the
here and stop this. We're approaching rapidly an hour and a half here, and I think this is a good place to stop because if I'm not mistaken, they do kind of tear into NASA quite a bit because yeah, apparently NASA's not been the most honest of organizations about stuff that they've seen and recorded. I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense considering that like that's kind of their area of expertise. You know, like, hey, these guys fucking work in space. Maybe they've seen something and they're like, oh no, fuck that.
Right.
I never.
Freaking Cortez looks like she's about to just beat the shit out of somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
I really do believe that what's her name? Fox. She seemed like she did not like this at all. Like
she seems like a little peeved.
Yeah, about this
Yeah.
whole like I don't think she think just by her demeanor, I just feel like she didn't like that this is in front of Congress. Like it's a waste of time to her.
Oh, I got a different vibe off her.
Oh,
I got a vibe that she thought it was like, I mean, to me, it just seemed like she was more aggravated that, let me get rid of Mr. Frost here. It seemed like to me that she was aggravated that this even needs to be a thing.
Right.
Like, why are we, having to like basically solicit for these answers? Why aren't these answers just there? Yeah, that's the vibe I got, but I'm probably wrong. I don't know. Plus, she seems like she's a sweet lady.
the one other thing that I like out of this whole video that we've watched so far, I'm a little worried on a little small detail that I kind of picked up. I may be digging too deep in this, but
what's that?
Behind what's his name, Fravor, there's 3 chairs that were reserved, and one actually said reserved for witness.
Yeah,
and he was not there.
Are we sure those aren't their chairs?
Oh yeah, those it might be their chairs because they could.
Like maybe if they yield the table, they go back and sit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there were 3 chairs.
It said reserved for witness.
Yeah.
But those chairs could be always reserved for witnesses. Maybe they just keep that sign on those chairs or something.
Yeah, I was just like, that kept like bugging me. I was like, why is this guy not here? Like, I understand life happens.
Yeah,
but
seems like a rather important thing to be at,
Yeah, but then on the other hand, it is like,
dude,
we're talking about.
I got it figured out. I have it figured out. There's 3 chairs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all 3 of us know the government works incredibly slow, right?
Yeah.
Right. So in like 2 weeks, we're going to get our invitations.
Oh, those were our chairs.
Those were our chairs.
Those rascals.
Yep.
It would have been. I mean, you think about it, we would be great witnesses.
Yeah.
They would be like, can you guys tell us about your experience back? Well, we heard about this thing that happened.
Right.
And we also heard about this thing that happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll be like, well, what about you guys have like, detailed information? But like, oh God, yeah. There's this one guy that said.
Yeah. I'm going to frame my invitation when it finally gets here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I figured it'd probably take about 2 weeks. Makes sense.
I'm going to have mine scaled down into like a wallet size where I can just show people.
Yeah.
And I was thinking this on the whole videos. I really do like we're making just because these said unidentified aircrafts, these UFOs are since they're intelligent, if it is aliens, another species, just because we're saying like, oh, they're intelligent, that doesn't mean that they don't have a sense of humor. And all I keep thinking is that these cocksuckers are just thinking, hey, you know what? Hey guys, we need to go to this base over here. They'll start freaking out. They don't know what we are. We got to go over there. And they just sit back and watch our news and stuff and just laugh their ass off.
I mean, it sounds like something we would do.
I'm just saying, like, even in our military, we like you guys, like, we sit around, like, because you're bored. Like, there's multiple videos of just random soldiers like doing dumb shit just to pass the time because they've been on post for fucking hours on end and they sleep deprivation. It's like, hey, you know what?
Let's go have some fun.
Let's go have some fun a little bit.
Let's go mess with these Earthlings. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, think about it. Like, you know, when you have a dog, how many times have you done the fake throw? You know what I mean? Like, that makes perfect sense. Like, maybe these assholes are just, you know, we're on like punked for, you know, Andromeda.
Yeah. Maybe what if they're broadcasting all this shit back to their home planet?
Yeah.
And it's literally entertainment for them.
Yeah. What if
it's
reality,
like the real world?
What if
Or the real
reality
world?
is more like Rick and Morty and less like X-Files? Show us what you've got.
Yeah.
Hey, show us what you got. Let's get swifty.
Well, I think we've probably got. I honestly feel like we got about one more episode worth of stuff out of this hearing we can go through if you guys want to. I think it's absolutely fascinating. Like I love it.
the UFO topic.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff, like, be perfectly honest, like, I really wish that we could get to that point, but this is like to throw it back in there, Bigfoot. I feel like this would be the biggest thing if Bigfoot got to Congress.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but we would need some substantial evidence and people to back it, like these people.
Right. And that's the thing. That is exactly Denny's point from earlier in the episode, is the Bigfoot community does not bring the thunder. And that's why they're not being brought in front of Congress.
Yeah.
And that's,
you know
I
what
feel
I mean?
like that's what what it needs.
We've got fighter pilots talking about shit they see in the sky. We don't have park rangers coming to Congress.
Yeah.
You know,
the day that shit happens. Holy
crap.
But
if we want to get into depth with it, it's in the military for some, like, the whole briefing, just like they're talking about UAPs before they fly. Yeah. They have it in their manuals, like, if they encounter one of these, what to do. So it's
if you see one, don't shoot it.
Yeah. So it's
how. I mean, how mind blowing! My camera is going ape shit here.
Holy crap!
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
You're like Max Headroom.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my camera. That's okay. I have a perfect stand-in likeness here.
I kind of feel bad that mine isn't up, so I wanna put mine up for that. That way, ours. How do I put the avatar up?
You just stop camera.
Is that all it is? Stop cam?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I guess I'm alone here.
I like this. I like the little line that boom comes out from the sides of him.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix this. But anyway, yeah, all I was saying was that how mind-blowing would it be to learn that, oh, look at that, there I am, I'm back, and you get to see my green screen. You know what, this is my green screen. I'm not even gonna mess with it. How mind-blowing would it be though if somebody finally came forward and showed us that our idea of normal reality is nothing like we thought.
Right.
You know, and the day that they do come forward, or if they do, I don't know, but if it would happen, it would be life changing for everyone involved, because it challenges every aspect of our lives. We have the scientific community that's, bring us evidence, bring us proof, bring us a body. You got the believers that are like, no, I believe, I've seen, I've experienced. You've got the missing 411 thing, people vanishing into thin air. You've got UFOs, ghosts, spirits, the afterlife, that stuff, cryptids of all different sorts. And what if someone came in and said, well, actually, here's why this stuff's happening. Here's why this happens.
Right.
And I think I touched a little bit on it. A dying universe, or a universe that's being transformed from a dying universe. There are symptoms, because reality isn't set in stone. Reality is kind of flowing differently than we ever imagined it to be.
Right.
And I'm not upselling this. This is minds smarter than myself figured this out. I don't know, but we know now that out in the universe that shit is not playing by our rules. It's weird, it's like, I thought we were more important than that. Like we look at things and we go, that's not what I think it is. Technically nothing is, because everything we see and experience is it's just energy. And our eyes are designed to take this energy in somehow and process the information and give us an image to look at. We're always this far behind reality, So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody will bring some mind-blowing shit, And for you guys out there that lump the Mothman in with the other cryptids, I'll have you know, more people testified eyewitness account for that one sighting than any other cryptid. You had officials, you had citizens, you had giant groups of citizens. They all saw it. I think Mothman I feel like Mothman should be bumped up a notch in importance. Probably an alien. Probably saw something. He probably thought, hey, some shit's gonna happen, man. I gotta do something about this. Don't know. But I got nothing else for this one, guys. You want to let them have the rest of their day?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not a hot day.
I hope it's cooled down.
I hope it's nice and cool for you out there. I really do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to figure out what happened to this and make some food and go do some things. You guys out there, take care of each other and keep looking up. Look up, because they're there. Here we are. We're in it now. And if you've seen something, email us. Call Tyler. Go to Tyler's house and drag him out and tell him what you saw. I don't think he wants that. Like and subscribe to Rector Band and DT Music. I've been slacking on that one big time. Been doing other stuff. Xbox stuff.
See you guys.